all that stuff.
Hey, welcome to First Stop News.
Black holes are disrupting space. We will explain.
The Pope's home city is the 8th in the world to fully run on solar energy.
And the Supreme Court is on summer vacay, but not before they made some pretty big rulings. But first, some other headlines. There was catastrophic flooding in central Texas over the weekend. The rainfall was historic. Several months worth of rain came down in just a few hours. Many people died or are missing, including some who were at a summer camp along the Guadalupe River. More rain fell with flood risks this week, and cleanup is underway. If you and your family want to help, there are charities on the ground accepting donations, like the Kerr County Family Relief Fund, Texar, a volunteer search and rescue org, or World Central Kitchen, that's delivering food to displaced families and first responders. Over in Washington, a major piece of Trump's agenda has been signed into law. It has a lot to do with taxes and how the government spends money, which was a big part of Trump's campaign. It extends tax cuts from his first term. Basically, people who make more money at their jobs will pay less in taxes. Also, significant cuts to Medicaid, which is health insurance for people who are low income or disabled. For those who can't afford food, they might have a harder time getting help through certain government programs. And your parents or guardians could get extra money back on their taxes for having you, thanks to raising the child tax credit. Tax credits are kind of like gift cards to pay less on taxes. The whole thing is called the Big Beautiful Bill, and it went through a lot of back and forth with divided lawmakers in Congress before it passed.
It's a miracle! Not really, it's really just solar panels. But Vatican City is the home of the Catholic Church, and now it's entirely run on solar energy. The Vatican was already relying on power from solar panels across the property, but its latest power plant is special because it's agrovoltaic. That means solar panels are built on the same land as crops and livestock. In 2024, the late Pope Francis ordered the construction at the Vatican shortwave radio station, the site of Santa Maria de Galleria. But that's not all. The Vatican plans to have a fully carbon-neutral vehicle fleet by 2030 with 40 Volkswagen vehicles. Mercedes-Benz even made the first ever all-electric Popemobile. Vatican City is technically a country, and it's one of 8 in the world to get all of its electricity from renewable resources. It's also one of the earliest adopters of renewable energy in the entire European Union.
I love a sweet, cold popsicle on a hot summer's day. What if I told you an 11-year-old invented this sweet treat? It's true. This is Frank Epperson. 120 years ago, he left a cup of soda powder and water with the stirring stick in it on his porch overnight. When he found it in the morning, the soda was frozen. It was like a lollipop icicle. He named it the Epsicle, and his San Francisco Bay neighborhood couldn't get enough of them. He decided to start selling them at county fairs and beaches. This picture is said to be the first popsicles being sold in Salinas, California. In 1924, Frank patented his creation, even detailing the best wood for the stick: bass, birch, and poplar. Soon, his children kept asking for their popsicles, and the name stuck. In the late 1920s, Frank sold the rights for $50,000. He was able to pay off some debts and help his family out with the money. Although the popsicle later proved to be worth way more, it's reported in the book, The Boy Who Invented the Popsicle, that he liked to remind his children that what was most important was the people they were, not the things they had. Frank loved inventing. It's reported he also made a dictionary made easier for spelling, a powdered drink, a sunscreen, and a device for warning ships of danger. And before the popsicle, when he was 10, he built a handcar with 2 handles. Handcars were used on the railroad for maintenance. And the popsicle today, hundreds of millions of them are eaten everywhere each year.
Cold, sweet summer treats are one of the best ways to beat the heat.
Hey, waiter! We need another one over here.
With all the options for frozen delight, I'm here to explain the difference between some of these delicious delicacies like ice cream, gelato, and sorbet, because it can get a little confusing. Before we get to the good stuff, let's start with the lure. Some people say ice cream started way back during the Tang Dynasty in China, which then made its way to Europe, but there's not really any evidence of this. Flash freeze a couple hundred years forward and we're in Italy, where we have our first two contenders, sorbet and gelato. But what's the difference? Gelato is delicious, enough said. Just kidding, it's close to ice cream, but it doesn't use eggs and has less cream, but more milk and sugar. It's mixed slower, so it's smoother and thicker, and served a little warmer than ice cream to really bring out the flavor. Sorbet, not so much a fan of this one, has got no milk or cream at all. It's just water, sugar, and fruit flavors mixed together. Sorbet is lighter than ice cream or gelato. It's basically a frozen smoothie. But hold up! I can't talk about Italian ice cream without mentioning Italian ice. Italian ice was invented in the United States. Where else? 20th century Italian immigrants added chunks of ice to sorbet to make it more crunchy and less dense. And if you're from around the Philly area, it's called water ice, so shout out to Rita's, the real ones know.
At Rita's, you'll enjoy the best Italian ice in the world.
Lastly, we have your classic ice cream. You know it, you love it, you eat it, but what is it? Ice cream is made with mixing eggs, milk, cream, and sugar. It gets churned or mixed really fast while it freezes, which makes it smooth and fluffy. Ice cream is served very cold and is thick, creamy, and delicious. The best part is, you can throw all sorts of stuff in it like mint or cookies or caramel, or just eat it the old school straight vanilla. Which one is your favorite? And enjoy!
Space is getting emptier one star at a time. 80 billion light years from Earth, scientists from the University of Hawaii and other institutions have detected 3 supermassive black holes. The one discovered in 2020, it's nicknamed Barbie. These holes are eating stars 10 times the size of our sun and causing the biggest explosions since the Big Bang. Black holes are invisible to us unless they interact with something else. Their gravity is so strong, they swallow light itself. When stars get caught in the massive black holes, they get ripped apart in what scientists call an extreme nuclear transient. In other words, a huge boom that's more visible than anything else in space for months, which has helped astronomers spot otherwise hidden black holes.
The Supreme Court has begun its summer vacation. They're swapping the robes for swimsuits. The justices work like school. They begin in the fall and then they break for the summer. The 9 justices can hear about 80 cases per year. The rulings are released throughout the months, but some of the most watched cases come down in the last few weeks of term. It's known as decision season, and the opinions have a major impact on how to respond to similar situations. This season, the justices heard 62 cases. One of those decisions said federal judges cannot issue nationwide injunctions, which is a major win for the Trump administration and presidents to come. But what does that mean? Kelsey here is going to explain.
I am right here. Thank you, Larry. You were right. It was one of the most consequential decisions from this term. With a 6-3 vote, the Supreme Court said federal judges can no longer put out nationwide injunctions, which basically can block a president's executive order. An injunction is an order that makes someone do or not do something. The ruling gives Trump and future presidents more time to enact policy, even if it's controversial. A record number of injunctions were issued from lawsuits challenging Trump's executive orders. However, Trump has also issued an unprecedented number of executive actions since taking office. This ruling could allow for some Trump policies to move forward. This whole thing stemmed from a case challenging Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, which guarantees that children born in the U.S. are citizens, no matter where their parents were born. It's also protected by the 14th Amendment. While nationwide injunctions are now curbed, what happens next with birthright citizenship will go back down to the lower courts, so we will keep watching this. And the world feels kind of crazy right now.
It really does, almost as crazy as my chair.
And if you want a good laugh, which is really important, we've got something for you this week.
Something forever!
So while we keep an eye on the world,
and while you leave us a comment with what you think,
we'll leave you with
a refreshing taste of a nonsense.
So,
see you in the next one.
Exactly what he said.